It doesn't take much to cause rejection on your paperwork. When it comes to the petition, this is where people get caught. There's like, they'll look and say, first they'll say, oh, I guess I can do my own divorce, which yes, you can. And the first couple of forms look pretty straightforward, and they are, but there's little traps of of issues and errors you can make even on that simple petition that will cause your judgment and your whole divorce to not go through. On the petition, I should have pulled it up, but I'm going to go off the top of my head. I should be able to do that after doing this for so long. Changing the names throughout the paperwork. I'll give you an example. Like my name's Tim Scott Blankenship. So let's say on the petition, I put Tim Scott Blankenship. And then on the summons at the top, I put Tim Blankenship, and I don't put the Scott part. Then those don't match. And that's a rejection that'll cause you have to start from scratch, refile, reserve the whole thing. Just that little issue right there. On the date of marriage and date of separation, people won't put a date of separation because they say we're still living together. So they don't put a date of separation. You got to put a date of separation. You can't leave that open. And then underneath that, where it says date of marriage and date of separation, people won't do the math. 5 years, 8 months, they'll leave that blank. That can cause your judgment to be rejected. Not marking on spouse support if you're going to want spousal support or not. People are writing none. People are writing all kinds of things in there. We agree to no spouse support. You have to mark one of the actual boxes on the petition. So I don't want to go over every single form, but the idea here is that making mistakes, even on the initial documents when you file, can cause your entire judgment to become rejected, even though, and I say this all the time, your paperwork, you filed it, maybe you e-filed it, maybe you used the guide and file, you maybe even went into court and filed that with the clerk, and they looked at your paperwork and stamped it. You're like, yeah, I'm good. No, you're not. It doesn't, they're not there to review your paperwork. Even if, aside from it being totally blank and apparent that, hey, you didn't fill it out, if it looks filled out, they're not going to review it for any type of accuracy. They're just going to file it. And people do not believe me when I tell you that, but it's true. So simple errors will cause your judgment rejected, wrong forms, incorrect forms, using the wrong, there's so many ways this can go wrong. When it comes to the settlement agreement, you could put wrong information in there. A big issue is people Googling for, California divorce, marital settlement agreement template, or whatever you guys put in Google. And there are some out there, but they're terrible. They look fancy. They have all this fancy legalese, but it's all incorrect. It has nothing to do with California. It has all kinds of incorrect boilerplate. The first 4 pages say absolutely nothing, but it sounds good. None of that's necessary. Don't use those. Don't use those templates. They're going to cause your judgment to get rejected. I've had people do their own divorce. Been doing this 12 years. If I haven't mentioned that already. And they say, Tim, our judgment got rejected. And I look, I'm like, well, you can't use this. This is invalid. And I'll say, just send me that, and I'll take from that and put it into the correct format with the correct legalese. Anyways, I guess the short story is there's so many things that can go wrong with your divorce when it comes to the paperwork. And that's what I do as a specialty.